Hi guys, welcome to a
Hello.
brand new podcast episode. So the layout's a little bit different today, and we have our
We
PC
have
monitor.
this, yes, Ivan Chan's
Yeah,
screen.
a lovely picture of a dog here, and we'll be
You
explaining.
may be wondering why though?
I'm pretty sure you probably read the title as well, but to elaborate in further
That's
detail,
number two.
we're going to be talking about our biggest childhood traumas and how we look at them now as adults.
as, as not, yeah, adults, quote unquote.
So the way how we're doing this is that we're each going to take turns. Well, technically, I have more than him
The
because
way this order is gonna go is technically I'm starting off with one of my four at the moment because that's what I could think of, and then after I talk about one, he's gonna talk about
5.
five, and then my turn, and then so
Yeah,
forth.
we're basically bouncing back.
Why is it that much? He has more than me. He has more
Let's
than me.
just say I was a little more
He
not.
kept track. He made a list of all the things that somewhat traumatized him
Yeah,
while
that
growing up. Well, I just had to think right out. Think.
off the spot.
Yeah, exactly.
There were a couple. This one being one of them,
Yeah,
and we'll get to
surprisingly.
we'll get to that in a second. But yeah, so as you see, we're gonna be talking about things that scared us, and then how we view them now. But the thing is, we're gonna be starting off from least scary all the way to the most scary
Yes.
for us.
So
The way how you interpret this for us is that just imagine us as like little kids, like maybe little
we're gonna
4-year olds.
say how. Well, we're gonna of course explain this. So
Yeah.
starting from when we're young
Yes.
to
To how we view it now.
yes, yes.
And just to say ahead of time too, all these images that we're presenting aren't ours. They're all from different online sources. So just to let everyone
And
know.
also, like, for example, you see this dog. It's it's not this specific breed that I was afraid of, but like,
Yeah. Again, we'll get into more detail when we
it's
discuss about it more.
just something to show.
Yeah.
Yes.
Basically. So I think let's get things started. Would you like to start out
For
with why
me,
this dog is on screen?
yes. For me, I would say back when I was younger, around the age of, I think seven or six. I had two. I at least knew two neighbors that had a very large dog, and because well, yeah, one, I was young. It was during like at the same time it was dark like dark lighting and all that.
Yep.
I saw these both of the not both of them at the same time, but I saw these dogs that was like a lot larger than me, and so I was afraid because of course it was like this large creature that I'm not used to seeing around. So not specifically this kind of breed. I don't know what kind of breed it is. You're gonna have to help me with that. But yeah, I saw one time I saw one of the large dogs. It was inside a neighbor's house, and because the lights were like off and all that, as I'm like standing near the entrance, I see this massive dog, and so I was just so afraid that I ran back home, and yeah, I just stayed away from the house. Then my other neighbor, there, surprisingly, it was during nighttime. I decided for some reason to visit my neighbors, the children that were there, because they were friends of mine. And when I went to their backyard, for some reason, they were all outside. They're of course playing with their dog, playing frisbee, I believe.
Hmm.
I saw the dog, and it was like, of course, it was like massive. And surprisingly, they didn't know that I was like
Like actually scared of
I
the
was no,
dog.
they didn't. They were surprised. I was surprised they didn't like see me, and so
Oh.
I was standing near the entrance, and I got scared of the dog again. So I decided to run away, as if nothing happened. So yeah, there was at that point I was afraid of like the larger dogs,
Hmm.
but now I'm not I'm not afraid of large dogs. Um,
Well, technically now you're larger than most large dogs, anyways, too, right?
yeah, I'm slightly larger than most large dogs, but like, yeah, I'm not afraid of dogs. I'm not afraid of dogs no more. I
Hmm.
actually consider myself more of a dog person, so it's like,
There you go.
yeah, so like,
It all works out in the end.
it is. But seeing back at it, Yeah, that's definitely a reason why I would be scared of large dogs while I was small. Anyways, so yeah, that's my least one out of the 4 images I have. So
You
moving on to
you'll keep learning about his. For me, if you think this was like scary, when I was like really little, let's just say I was a little more terrified of like some weird things. And then when you see on screen, you'll be like,
my
why?
yeah, that's my you're gonna have my kind of reaction.
It's gonna be like,
Some of you will.
yeah, it's gonna be like, why were you scared of this? Like even as a kid, why?
Not the dog, but like
You'll
the
understand
when he starts sharing his
yeah,
stuff,
yeah. I'll explain the reason why.
which we're
Okay, let's do mine now.
let's see.
This is the first one.
First image.
If you guys don't know who these 4 are, these are the Teletubbies. So,
I was afraid of the Teletubbies.
no, I'm not afraid of the Teletubbies. I'll explain that in a bit. So, Tinky Winky, Dipsy, Lala, and Poe, the 4 Teletubbies. And I'm not afraid of the Teletubbies per se when I was little. But what I was scared of more is anytime they did a snow-based episode. Yeah, because of the atmosphere. Because everything changes from like green, beautiful textures, and all of a sudden it's completely
It's just
white.
Yeah,
Exactly. I don't know. It's just sort of like the ambiance that sort of like got to me as a kid. And plus, it sort of triggered me in one of my earlier nightmares as a young kid. Because like, I don't know if you remember the Teletubbies like goodbye scene. Like, have you ever seen Teletubbies before?
Of course I've watched Teletubbies. I don't remember specific scenes and all that.
Do you remember the ending? Because it's almost always consistent. It's like the Teletubbies always saying goodbye.
No, I don't remember.
Shoot.
I don't remember that.
Because I know eventually we'll be discussing an episode about our dreams in general, but
That's a different episode.
yeah. But basically, it helped triggered one of my first nightmares as a kid. So
Afraid of the Teletubbies, yes.
no, I'm not afraid of Teletubbies. It's the atmosphere where the Teletubbies were in.
Okay, you're afraid of the snow. Okay.
Yeah,
You're afraid of the snow.
oh, snow with the Teletubbies. That's my first one.
The
And if you think
snow-
that one was weird, let's go to this one. So, for those of you who knows Barney's Night Before Christmas,
Oh gosh.
this is towards the ending of this special, quote unquote.
Special Christmas episode.
Yes, so I've seen this first when I was only 2 or 3 years old.
And
then-
surprisingly, he remembers it.
Yes, because the reason why is because, like, seeing this as a 2, 3-year-old, like, for those of you who know this, like, this sack, like, literally shows up out of nowhere after you see, like, a bunch of glitter and sparkles. When they do a close zoom in towards the fireplace, and then this drops in out of nowhere, this scared the living crap out of me when I was, like, 2 or 3 years old.
I don't understand. It was like when he showed this to me, I was like, "How did you get scared of this?"
Exactly.
I mean, like
No,
this
because
bag coming down the chimney, like the sparkles that puts out the fire, and then this bag comes down.
because
I
for
would.
me- like again, like I said before, imagine if you were like 2 years old and watching this the first time, and like you didn't expect what would happen.
I
Anyways.
feel like if it was sudden,
Yeah.
like
Because for
oh
me,
no, like real quick, like a jump scare kind of thing. I feel like that's what would
but that
be
was
scary.
It's funny too because that was my typical reaction when I saw this the first time because I saw it as a jump scare. Because when it came down, it scared me, so I didn't know how to react.
I'd be more scared if an old man popped out instead of a
Be like Santa Claus, like
a red,
possibly
a
like,
red,
ho ho ho.
a red bag full of toys.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, this one just like scared me because
That
like for
count?
me, it came out of nowhere. And again, imagine this as a 2 or 3-year-old. So again, it zooms in all the way towards the center of the
Slowly
fireplace.
zooms
Yeah,
in.
slowly zooming in, and then all you hear is just like whimsical, like I want to say creepy music. But it like
Creepy
slowly builds into it. Like I don't want to play it because of copyright and stuff, but
I mean the titles.
yeah, like you could see the title here. I'm gonna be linking everything in the description anyways for our credits anyways. So if you want to check out the episode for yourself, I'm gonna link it. But it literally just comes out of nowhere for me. Again, but looking as it now as an adult, like of course I'm not scared of this anymore.
That's funny.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the how to.
Exactly. Now I look at it, it's like, how was I scared of this? It's literally just a red sack that just hits the ground. And plus you hear...
And it's slowly too. It's not all like
Exactly. So you know it's coming, right? And
Yeah.
but that's just me being more educated when it comes to like stuff that happens suddenly, like jump scares and stuff. So
Yeah.
so this wasn't that bad for me.
Moving on.
Okay, I want to make sure that I'm not like accidentally clicking on the video. Okay, next. I don't know if you could see this picture clearly. So, for those of you who know the TV show JJ the Jet Plane,
This is
yeah,
and just to explain a little, is this kid show about like, so it's like Cars
Planes.
and Thomas the Tank Engine, you know, that kind of thing where there's a human like face
Yes.
on the vehicles. However, since this one was a very old kid show, the CGI is weird.
it's a little weird, yeah.
It's like these what'd you say, realistic?
Yeah,
like,
realistic faces.
not the
on, like,
most
these,
realistic, but, like,
on these planes. Yeah,
On these random planes.
yeah.
And then, yeah, it was.
It's weird, but like at the same time too, like me and Caspin were talking about this earlier, and it's like Caspin was like, "You're more."
Wait. Explain. No, first explain why this image.
Okay,
is on
okay.
here.
So for those of you who don't know, this is from the episode Tracy's Song from JJ the Jet Plane, and in the middle, she sings a song about Amelia Earhart, and
The first woman to fly around the world.
And so to tribute to Amelia Earhart, she sings a song about her, and then in the middle of the song, like out of the blue, you see like pictures of Amelia Earhart in the sky, and then like it just cuts back and forth between like different pictures.
Between the planes.
Yeah.
And then a
and then
picture
Amelia
of.
Earhart. Yeah.
And
I find it weird and like creepy as a kid because like of course you don't see this in the sky. You see it like in pictures and stuff, like in actual books or like magazines or whatsoever. Like you don't like look up in the sky and it looks photorealistic. So
and then going back, the discussion we had earlier,
yeah.
when we were both looking at this and all that, watching the little clip that we saw, one of the things that I said was like, I mean, cause he's more used to like Thomas Tank Engine, but what I said was like, you're fine with these planes that look so like weird and outly, but then you're afraid of a realistic image of a person in the sky.
And then what's ironic too is that they also have like human characters in the show as well.
Yeah.
So Mayakuma, I apologize if you hear growling in the background. The dogs are playing with each
They're
other.
roughhousing.
Yeah, they're having fun with each other.
Hey,
Yeah, don't mind them.
it's too loud.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the reason why I was like scared of like seeing this when I was little. Of course, nowadays, like as a grown-up adult, I just find this really cool because of course you know about like the interesting like pictures that you see of Amelia Earhart, and when me and Caspin were watching the music video earlier and seeing the different pictures, it was actually really cool to see like the history of Amelia Earhart in these type of images. But yeah, it just like all the more makes me have like more respect for this. So, but maybe in thinking about it now, maybe JJ the Jet Plane was a little more uncanny than the actual picture showing on the actual song. But yeah, looking at it now, I just think it's really, really interesting. It's not creepy or anything, but it's really interesting. That's one thing for sure. Hi, Maya. Okay,
How much was that? How much was that? Was the third one, right?
yeah, 2 more to go. Okay, next one. So, for those of you who know me really well, you guys know that I really enjoy listening to the Wiggles. And one of their mascots is a dog known as Wags the Dog. So this is from season 1's version of Wags the Dog, back in the original Playhouse Disney era. So it's weird too because I love listening to the Wiggles, but I was always afraid of seeing this version of Wags the Dog on screen because of the way how his head looked. Because sort of
Wow, the way his head looked, the way his body looks
Okay, so
shaggy and all that.
so to interpret the way how Casper mentioned earlier about large dogs, it was sort of like this, but for me.
He was afraid of a different version of a
Yeah.
large dog.
Yeah.
This one can stand.
Yeah, it can stand on 2 feet. It actually moves around. It's sort of like uncanny to me, and it looks so creepy. But like after like like watching a couple more episodes and like seeing like newer versions of Wags the Dog, the more I appreciated the original designs too. If I thought this one was creepy, the first take on Wags the Dog, in my opinion, was the most creepiest. But when I was younger, this was the first one that I've been exposed to. So,
Hey, wow, what kind of breed is that?
well, it's a brown dog.
Brown dog that can stand on its hind legs
It's a
and dance.
yep, it's a tap dancing dog. To be fair, I don't know what type of breed Wags is.
What? It looks like well, I'll probably say mutt, but like
Yeah. Oh, actually, maybe it might be a mutt.
a mutt or a I forgot what kind of breed. It's like those dogs where it's like you see their cheeks, they're like sagging a little.
Oh, I know what you're referring to. I
It's
forgot
like
what
those.
those
They're
dog
like
breeds are called.
English dogs or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah. Those are cute. Yeah. Because looking at it now, it looks adorable. Well, I don't know if you count it as adorable, but I like the
It
design.
looks like a fun guy.
Yeah, I appreciate the design of it.
Yeah.
So looking at it now, I appreciate it. That's one thing's for sure.
And
Okay.
he was afraid of this dog.
Yeah, I was afraid of it, but now I absolutely love Wags the dog. So, speaking of dogs, I hear the dogs ringing the bell upstairs.
Alright, moving on
Okay,
to
I'll do one more and then I'll help out the dogs upstairs.
it'll be my turn. So
Okay, and then moving on to this one. So, for those of you who know Dora the Explorer, this is from the episode Te Amo. So,
if you don't know that episode, even I didn't know the episode. It involved this king and queen that would say the phrase
Te Amo,
Te
or I
amo.
love you in English.
Yes. And so they're saying it all the time. And so this random
I think it's a wizard.
wizard shows up out of nowhere and starts feeling jealous, even though first things first, what he did was he made the king and queen teleport to the other different sides of the world.
Yeah.
But then they got together.
Yep.
And so the wizard, for some reason, shows up again and is like, all right, I'm going to make you into these.
Yeah. So basically, they were just turned into mountains. And then, basically, the thing that scared me the most about this was like, yeah, like this was creepy, but it was the actual like of the king and queen being transformed into the mountains. So you see them in human form, and then all of a sudden they turn into like these gigantic rock statue things that turn into mountains.
And I will say, when I saw the clip, the wizard was about this tall from where the mountain stood. So I was like,
and then he walked away like right here. So imagine it's like me as a 4-year-old, and then like seeing this for the first time, and then like, oh my gosh, it'd be really scary if I ever like see this in person, and I look up, see faces on the mountains like this. Oh my good gracious, like I'd be freaked out.
yeah, you'd be creeped out.
But
I'd
then-
be like, what the?
But then again, like looking at it now, like yeah, I think it's cool that they animated this way. Spoilers in the end of the episode, the wizard doesn't win.
He
obviously.
doesn't die.
Yeah, he just
No, he dies.
he just sadly walks away. It's ironic too because there's another episode that involves a witch, but she becomes good in the end. The wizard in this
The
one,
wizard just walks away?
yeah, he just walks away sadly.
He didn't learn his well,
No, he did, but like he couldn't like do magic anymore, and he was super sad. And then like Dora didn't comfort him or anything, saying, "Oh, it's okay." No, he just sadly walks off screen. And then like you see the king and queen like dancing in the end, while like Dora and Boots were doing their little dance, and you in the background you see the wizard sadly walking away. It's like, oh, I feel bad for him. Come on.
but besides from that, he was afraid of
The transformation, basically, like them turning into the mountains. I don't know. For me, I just found that really creepy. Like anytime I see this on television, I'd always just like flip to the next channel. So, but
yeah,
looking at it,
he does it now.
yeah, looking at it now, I find this really cool. I think it's an interesting concept. So,
I don't know.
but yeah, honestly, just think this is really cool. Honestly, because at least one thing's for sure, people are gonna make fun of me for it. At least I'm not afraid of Mount Rushmore. Because
Are we sure about that?
no, I visited before and it's really nice.
Deep down, he's secretly afraid of faces on mountains.
That's why I'm on the opposite side, like cowering away from the actual like sites of Mount
Yeah,
Rushmore.
exactly. Oh, George Washington's on there.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, exactly. So,
But yeah, continuing on, I think the dogs still need to go outside and use the bathroom. In the
it is
meantime,
my turn to share my.
would you like to share your next one? So
Yes.
this would be the next image. So would you please care to explain while I go upstairs and take care of the puppies?
Yes.
Thank you. I'll be back.
So, the image that you see here, yes, it is a roller coaster. However, is this specific kind of roller coaster, what was it called again? I think it was called the, um, I don't know, it's like the U-shaped, shoot, I don't remember what the roller coaster called is. But it's like technically it's a U shape, and usually on those rides you would go, whether if you're going forward or backward, you would first go all the way up, and then you're going straight down at very high speeds, and you just do that for the next few times. And not specifically when I was a kid, I was just passing by one of these kinds of roller coasters. I don't remember the specific kind of roller coaster. It was in California, and I was passing by one of these roller coasters during nighttime. And when I was little, I first saw this. I I was just scared, even though I never rode on it, cause like I can hear the people that were on this roller coaster all the way up in the sky, and as they're going down, they would scream as if like that terrifying scream as if someone was getting murdered. And so like I don't know, after that, I had this feeling where it's like I was just scared of the roller coaster, and so I never wanted to. While growing up, I never wanted to ride the roller coaster. I would pass by it, but then I'd never want to go on it because I was somewhat afraid of those roller coasters because you're going so fast downwards. Like, what would happen if they would like derail or like I don't know. It's that feeling like you're just gonna go straight down and crash. But of course, I got into a certain age or a certain point where I would I actually rode one of these. It was like more twisted, the one in Six Flags Great America, and yeah, I'm no longer afraid of these kinds of roller coasters. So, but yeah, back when I was little, I was definitely afraid of these U-shaped. Perfect timing because I was just finishing this one
Perfect.
too. So,
I heard you were when I came in, I heard you about like riding this one, but the one in Great America. So
um, is this the same roller coaster
no,
from
no,
the?
no, because the one in Great America
It was the
has one that's
is
normal like this, but the other side
it's
is
twisted.
twisted.
It's twisted.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's the I don't remember what the roller coaster was called, or like these types of roller coasters, U-shaped.
yeah. We just typed in U-shaped roller coasters and we just found this.
Oh, anyways, that covers that one. So moving on.
Okay, for me, the next one. I
Not
believe it
this one.
won't get as uncanny next
I
because
think
I'm
that
pretty sure some of you probably get flashbacks or like maybe memories of this movie, but it's flushed away. So I don't know if you guys have seen Flushed Away. So I don't know why I did it on this one. But
yes, what a good image.
for me, oh shoot, for me when it came to this, it was the animation because I find
Before you start elaborating, let me just explain this movie. So
yeah.
this is a movie by DreamWorks. It's
Mhm.
about like this pampered rat in London. He was a pet, and so one day he meets this other rat that decides to flush him down the toilet, and he finds out that after being flushed, going through the sewers, he finds this
Underground City.
underground city full of like rats and all that. And and this is like a rat that never experienced this kind of lifestyle or environment. And so while he's there, gets into trouble and all that. And so he starts learning more about the outside world because he was mostly kept inside with all of his like Barbie dolls and TVs and all TV show and all that stuff.
Enjoying life.
Yes, pretty much. So, yeah, that's about it. One he stopped at is he was before he falls into the city. This is him falling down. As he's falling down, he hits some
Stuff.
He hits stuff like, for example, this faucet. Great image.
And then it was what followed that? I remember there was a boot.
There's the faucet. There's a boot, and then I don't know what was the first one, but it was before this faucet. And then the last thing he hits was a hammer.
I was like literally cowering when I saw that.
Yeah, he was.
I'm sensitive when it comes to stuff like this.
I think all guys can understand this pain.
Yeah, but that's not the reason why I chose this. Like I mentioned beforehand, it was the animation.
Well, you're not afraid of hitting her.
No. I think I'm a little more scared of that too. But for me, when I was younger, it was more of the animation style because I found it like more on the creepy side because like how uncanny like everything is. But like,
it's not the cartoons that he used to.
Basically. And I think like JJ the Jet Plane was okay, but then I thought this one was creepy.
You found out.
But at least like back then, I know it was like me being young and me not being like
not understanding this concept of animations during the time. So.
Exactly. But like knowing it now as an adult, like this is stop motion animation, and I've learned it's also from the same studio that made Chicken Run. Which was also...
I did say DreamWorks, so it made movies like Shrek and How to Train Your Dragon and all that other stuff. So,
wait, I forgot if
one of the older movies came out in, I believe, 2006.
Yeah. I forgot... Wait, actually... No, wait, was this by Chicken... Did they use stop motion or was it computer animated?
I think Chicken Run's from a different...
Because
from a different studio.
Oh, I don't remember off the top of my head. Maybe I'm just confusing myself. Because either if it was computer animated or if it actually was stop motion, whatever it looks cool.
I think this was computer animated, and then Chicken Run was.
Yeah, Chicken Run was for sure stop motion.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, but nonetheless.
Getting back to the topic.
Yeah, this is still really cool nonetheless. Like seeing like the unique animations, like how funny everything, the timing is. In general, is just so cool. I don't know why I was like freaked out by the animation as a kid, but
it was just a different whole transition.
Exactly.
Like, from this like old cartoons that you're used
like
to.
Like jumping 2D to 3D basically.
Yeah.
But like imagine like this one versus Shrek. At least Shrek looks more clean and presented, if that makes sense.
It had some banger music and lovable characters.
Exactly. And then flushed away, it's a little bit on the different side of things.
Yeah.
But then again, do you think this is the most underrated DreamWorks movie?
I don't know. I saw the ratings. It had like 6 out of 10 stars. So.
Yeah, because the majority of the other DreamWorks movies are like being talked about, but I never seen this one being popped up. So I don't know.
That is true. That is true.
But that's the sixth one, I should say, technically.
So moving on.
Okay, this one. I'm pretty sure for those of you who understand this character, for if you guys ever played the game Super Smash Brothers.
I don't know if you can see it.
Yeah,
but it's like
it's white, and then I'm pretty sure if I mentioned that statement already, you probably already know. Maybe you need a visual.
It is a giant hand.
Maybe you need a visual representation. Give me a second.
You're telling me you have this? I mean, it doesn't.
Close enough.
I guess. Now, if you don't know where this is from, you should play this game. But it is what is it called? The big hand?
The master hand.
The master hand.
From Super Smash Brothers. All the way back from the Nintendo 64 all the way up until currently. So this was the... well, actually, no. This one in particular is just Master Hand in general. But the first time I've ever seen Master Hand was from Super Smash Brothers Melee back on the GameCube. And this was when I believe I was like 4 or 5. when we were visiting a friend's house and they were playing Smash, and this was my first time experiencing Smash, all right? So they made it like towards the end of the level, and then I saw that they were versing Master Hand. Like seeing like a small character versus a giant hand scared me. So it was the thing where it's like you see the little character here, and then you see a gigantic hand right here, and your goal is try to like, but you of course beat it and like win after like defeating it and whatsoever. But again, seeing it from the perspective of a little 4-year-old, it's a little like,
It was creepy.
yeah, uneasy. Yeah, it was basically creepy. But then, of course, like I said, we got older. We got more knowledgeable about this. And then, like, literally after this one, when me and my brother started playing more Nintendo games, one of our first ever Wii games was Super Smash Bros. Brawl. And of course, one of the characters in the...
Not playable, but
yeah,
a
one of the
boss,
bosses.
a boss.
Yeah, was Master Hand. So after seeing Master Hand again, I thought it was like cool because like of course now I have a new take about it now as an older kid. So thinking about it then, I thought it was really interesting. And seeing like the way how Master Hand moves, his movesets, everything that he does in the game is so cool. And plus, the way how they interpreted him in the actual story mode in Smash Bros. Brawl was really cool.
Yeah.
Hence, giving all the more respect to Master Hand from me is the reason why I absolutely think he's one of the best characters in Smash. Boss-wise, I
And
should
he
say.
was afraid of a
Yeah,
hand.
and I was afraid of this as a kid. And then there's Crazy Hand too, but he's basically the left-hand side instead of the right.
I
So
have no idea. All right, moving on.
let's see about this
what
one.
was it, right?
So for those of you who have a fear of clowns, you might want to fast forward or like move away for a second because I'm going to be talking about this thing right here.
Would you say that's a clown?
Yeah, technically it is,
Just
or
because
even a
of
mime.
Yeah, I think it looks more of a mime, but
Yeah,
maybe
so
I guess because of the red nose.
yeah, to be more specific on this, for those of you who do not know the show The Big Comfy Couch, this is a prop doll, quote unquote, from the show named Roberto. So, of course, the main protagonist of the show, Lunette the Clown, of course. And then this is a segment usually called Lunette's Dance Academy, where we first see Roberto like hung up on like one of those like jacket stands things, and then like Lunette like props him out of it and then starts dancing with him. And then of course like you see like Roberto like he becoming from like a doll to like human because like he actually starts dancing too with Lunette. I thought that was funny. And basically like towards the end you see like Lunette like holding him spinning around, and she legit throws Roberto out of the frame, and then so she gets all confused and stuff. She returns back to the couch, and then basically I showed Caspin this, but this was from the 10
Showed me a
second tidy.
clip.
Yeah, so she asked where Roberto was. He magically falls in front, and then of course, like if you guys know the Big Comfy Couch and the end segments where Lunette does the 10-second tidy, where she legit like picks up everything on the floor, and, like shoves everything in her couch.
What scared him was
shoving Roberto, this gigantic being, inside the cushion of the couch.
And I would say that, I guess as a kid, if you saw this doll or this humanoid thing crawling, like slowly crawling out of the couch, I could see why it would be, well, not even if you weren't like a kid. If you saw this thing crawling out of your couch cushions, I could see why you would be scared or creeped out by it. Because like, what the heck? Do you want a mime crawling out of your couch?
Exactly. And not only that too, because from my perspective as a little kid, you imagine like, of course, like Lunette's like a clown and everything. And you imagine it like when you're growing older, you could actually shove things inside your couch and be like, what if she's actually a murderer? Or like something of the like.
Yeah, she's
Like
she's putting her victims into the couch and brings in gas. He's
Exactly.
like, you've been sitting on these corpses the whole time.
Exactly. And it's weird too because like right beforehand, when you saw like the Dance Academy thing, it was actually like moving and stuff. So it was actually sentient. So
Yeah.
And then
Sentient.
sentient, thank you. Sorry, I
Sentient?
can't speak English. Why did I say sentient? So basically, afterwards, like of course you see like Lunette like shoving him like inside the couch, was like really weird and stuff. It's funny too because she does it like 3 more times in the show, and in one instance, he actually like props up and helps her clean up the mess, and towards the very end. He like jumps onto the one side of the couch and Lunette like pushes him all the way down, which was really funny. Like, of course, you see me now as an adult, like, looking at these 10-second tidies involving him. Like, I find it funny. I find it really funny. But, like, if you take it in a weird, sadistic way, of, like, imagine, like, hiding your victims inside the couch, or, like, as Caspin said, like, them coming out of the couch, that'd be a little more terrifying when you think about it.
Horror movie.
I also talked to Caspin about this, but like if you guys remember the clown phase back in 2016 when everyone, or like when you see like people dressed up as clowns in public and they're like chasing people off the streets and whatsoever, there was a segment in a live show where Lunette came back on a live TV show, like dressed up everything as like the original Lunette the Clown character, and she was basically like making fun of the whole thing, and she was like wielding a chainsaw in front of the camera. And then I was like dying laughing. I was like, oh my gosh, they implemented real life on TV. That's funny. But yeah, but because of that, like it also helped me like slowly like help me remove my fear of clowns as well, because back when I was younger I used to be scared.
Clowns or mimes.
Exactly, because I was actually scared of clowns as a kid too, and this one helped me to overcome my fear of clowns, other than the video game Twisted Metal. If you know, you know. So, other than that, that's pretty much it from Big Comfy Couch. So, moving on to like something you probably, maybe you guys might remember from like maybe elementary school or middle school, because these weren't really as scary, but they were interesting to read. But for me, it was seeing this.
If you don't know what it is, or I guess you know what it is, scary stories to tell in the dark.
Yep.
Specifically this kind of book.
So it says here, collected from folklore and retold by Alvin Schwartz, and then the drawings are made by Stephen Gamble. And speaking of that, it's this image that I've seen. So basically what you see is a picture of a tree, but you see like the outline of a clown with a pipe sticking out, and then of course you see like some gravestones in the side and the shed, and then I believe that's supposed to be the moon. Yeah, because I remember seeing this image in middle school, and it's always like being present out in front. So every time I like peer over to the little library section in our classroom and I see that, dude, I get like shivers.
And during middle school, in the library, whenever I go there, I would also see this book, and I was like, oh gosh, what the heck?
Yeah,
Why
yeah.
would they show this?
It's more on the uncanny side too, because like it's supposed to be nice and peaceful, but no, it had to be even more creepy by adding in the clown figure on the tree.
Nice and peaceful. What the?
Exactly. Now there are more other covers too, besides this one too. I think there was like one with like haunted woods. One was like a gravestone in general.
Yeah, there's a few others,
but
it's specifically this one.
This one felt unnerving to me, and plus seeing it almost every single time I enter the classroom too. Oh my gosh, it's just unsettling to me.
Yeah.
And it's funny too, because I just literally talked about The Big Comfy Couch, which is a show about clowns, and then there's this one, which takes it into a whole new level. It's weird that I find this one creepy, but Sweet Tooth from Twisted Metal not creepy. Again, if you know, you know. So, but yeah,
I think it was because you saw this before you saw Twisted Metal.
No, actually, I played Twisted Metal before I saw this one.
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, right? It's weird. But
maybe it's because like you see this like in front of you in person rather than on the screen.
Exactly.
Maybe that's what.
Sorry, Kuma's right here. I think he's on camera right now.
I think Kuma wants a Scooby snack.
Baby. Come here. Come here.
I should move a little. He's just staring at me menacingly.
There you go. Good boy. What's that on your nose? What's that on your little snout?
I thought that was.
Is that a piece of paper?
I was looking at the mark on his.
There we go. It's a feather. It's from one of the birds upstairs.
How did you get that? Anyways,
Yeah, they shed their
moving
feathers.
moving
Yeah.
on.
So basically, nowadays, looking at it now, I just think this is cool. I'll bring this up later on when I talk about the more uncannier stuff towards my latter portion of this. And you'll understand the reason why I think this is cool. But for now, I'm going to save it as is, and I'll move on to my next one before Caspin presents his next one. So, for those of you who know the game Tomb Raider, I'm pretty sure you might know who this character is. This guy here, this is the butler. So,
No specific name, just the butler.
yeah. So in Tomb Raider 2, there's a side mode. Instead of playing like the actual mission, you get to explore the inside of Lara Croft's mansion, I think it was. And then basically you get to go around and explore and stuff. But if you reach towards a specific point inside the mansion, the butler comes in and shows up. And then he starts following you everywhere inside the
Slowly
mansion.
follows.
Yeah, slowly following him. So,
Good,
yeah,
sir.
yeah. So yeah, what makes it all the more creepier for me, especially if you have like, if you're placed in a weird angle, like say for example, you see the butler, right, and you approach him, and he of course like comes next to you, but you move towards like another side and keep the camera angle it is, he will literally come out of nowhere, and you see like a big screen of black, and then just like trying to get Lara Croft's attention. That would scare me as a kid. So. Like I know he's like, of course, like
He's just an old man.
he's just an old man, like doing his thing. But before, this used to scare me when I was little because I didn't know how to like.
Afraid of old men when
Yeah,
he was young.
yeah, exactly. I didn't know how to like get away from him. If you know, you know.
Yeah.
An old man, and then a little, I want to say 6 or 7 year old me.
I guess you'd find that creepy.
Yes.
Especially when he's following you.
Exactly. If you imagine what Caspin just said and just take that out of context.
Come here, little child.
Exactly. And I'm controlling Lara Croft, so.
By the way, have you played this game, right?
I have, but I haven't gotten far into it because it's not my genre.
But you somehow found this scene.
Yes, I found it creepy. Because it only happens in this portion of the game. Whenever you go inside that mansion and then you see him, he'll just come next to you. So the only way I can find myself imagining to like get away from him is one, like try to run around and go as far as I possibly can without being noticed. But he'll still catch up. But the way how you exit the game, I don't know if there's an alternative way other than just like pressing start and exit. What I did was run into the fire pit and just let myself die.
No.
And then that's how I exit the mode.
I see.
But yeah, looking at it now, of course you see this one. And then, yeah, of course it's PlayStation 1 graphics. Of course you'd be a little more freaked out by it because of like, of course, like seeing how it is compared back then to how it is now. So, yeah, it's just weird. I'm not going to lie.
Afraid of old man.
No, you can't take my master hand.
All right, moving on to
Caspin's.
my second to last one. My second to last quote-unquote trauma.
This is going to be interesting.
For those that don't know, this is Happy Tree Friends.
It looks very clean.
Yeah, it's about these cute looking
Critters.
doing their daily lives and all that until a certain point in the video where it starts to get caused by something. It starts to get gory. It starts to get
very messy.
very messy, gory.
You see
lots of blood and other stuff.
Yeah.
And for those
It's a
that
little
do know about it,
graphic.
good. For those that do know about it, good for you.
Yes.
Anyways, the reason why I have this as my second to last trauma is because it was back when I was more innocent as a young child, and it was while at a friend's house, like partying and whatnot. You have the living room upstairs with they're playing Mario Kart, and then near the TV was a desk and some of the older kids were watching Happy Tree Friends on the laptop. So when I went over, of course they decided to show me, and so at first I'm watching this and I'm like, as a little boy, and I was like, oh, oh, okay, these cute little critters. And I loved animals and all that.
Come on.
And by the time it starts getting gory,
Come on.
that's when I got terrified. I got terrified. It got bloody. Like some of them, they're like getting like cut and like killed, like very messy without them even dying right away. And I was like so terrified. And I was like, okay, I cannot watch this. I'm going to go back to whatever I was doing. And so yeah, that was terrifying. And then I got to a certain age where I watched the Happy Tree Friends, and I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, well, of course, I had the reaction of like, oh my gosh, what the heck? All that. But at the same time, I was like, I guess it was a little funny. Not in a psychotic way, but it was,
Cartoonish way.
yeah, just more gory. And
Exactly. It's
so,
basically that happy, sappy cartoon violence that you see, but more gruesome.
more gruesome and, yeah.
Violent, more violent.
Extreme violence.
Yeah, to talk about extreme violence in a what they seem like is a happy kids show, but
Yeah,
in reality, no, they kick it up a notch.
Yeah, so now of course I'm completely used to it, used to seeing this, and not only that, we found out earlier that there was a game
Yeah, that one
based
really
on,
shocked me.
game that included Happy Tree Friends, and this game released last year, like I think September or
Yeah,
October.
September last year.
And of course we were surprised and like, no way this is a game. When we saw the trailer for it, man, it had the same kind of like deaths and gory stuff.
Yeah.
These guys like getting ripped and all that. My gosh. So, anyways, yeah, Happy Tree Friends. If you haven't seen it yet, you better be prepared. Better be prepared to see this. So,
If I could give my quick take on this show too.
actually, I don't think there isn't, they don't have it on YouTube anymore. Do
I
they?
don't think so.
Not all of them.
Yeah, but they have no, because I think it's like too violent to show too. I think they
Yeah,
probably
and
wouldn't.
then especially when it looks like this, the
Exactly.
younger audience would accidentally click it.
Yeah, the first time I was actually exposed to this, I thought it was funny because I was actually at the right age to watch it, and two, I understood the logic of it because
Yes.
it's supposed to be made for quote unquote like edgy teens or like whatsoever because of like how innocent it looks, but it's like hiding something behind it. So I knew like something was popping up afterwards after seeing my first episode, and then afterwards I just kept watching episode after episode, and I just thought it was really funny each time. But good gracious, Happy Tree Friends is definitely certainly a watch. Yeah, that I wouldn't say catchy, but like that
My gosh, my gosh.
that one theme song. But
Yeah.
holy moly,
All right, moving on.
to my final five.
This final five, starting
Yes.
with
Okay, so for those of you who know the game Mega Man X5 on the PlayStation 1, you might recognize who this boss is. I don't know if you guys could see up in full. Maybe if I can make it a little larger.
Isn't that supposed to be Sigma?
Yes, that's Sigma. There we go.
I don't know what form of
yeah.
Sigma that is, but
That's the head form of Sigma. So, I remember the first time seeing this was my cousin playing this game, made it all the way to the end of the stage, and then of course you see like, at first you see like a giant head statue of some sort, and then it transforms into Sigma's head. So,
the thing that scared him or creeped him out as a kid while he was a young kid was, of course, as you see it here, it's the head, how it looks like more realistic than these like pixelated
exactly.
everything else that's
Because
pixelated.
when you're used to like the old Mega Man stuff, it's like that specific sprite related to it. And then you see this one, it sort of has that or maintains that look too, except for the boss, which is Sigma. So, and it's funny too, because if I'm not mistaken, this is the first boss you see, and you come across him again as the final boss. So, but you actually fight him in full body form. So I haven't gone far into the game for that. But looking at this now, I still find this like creepy, but not to the terms where it's like scary. Like I'm me hiding under the table as a kid every time I see him on screen.
The fact that they had this at that time.
Yeah, it was like that type of scary to me. Like I would actually like hide underneath the table. Like every time I see that, especially when he like pops his head up and like starts attacking Mega Man like that, I would like hide underneath the tables.
I see.
It was creepy. I just didn't like that at all.
Yeah.
And like the movements and everything, it just felt so
the way they
weird.
made it move like this is interesting.
Very uncanny indeed. Was the reason why I have it this high on the list. And then it's gonna get more and more interesting, just to say.
Yes, probably have seen this before. So
Yes. So for those of you who own like older laptops back in the day and you played like CD-ROMs and stuff, you might experience what might happen when I click on this next image.
let me see this. Oh,
These happening.
those like where what's it?
It's like a screen glitch or like whatsoever.
You
So,
guys would definitely know, and whatever we're saying is probably not the right term, but
yeah.
so
Basically what happens is that whether like you're playing a game or like you're exiting a program or whatsoever, your screensaver would end up glitching out, showing up like different colors on screen what it used to be.
yeah.
Yeah, so to demonstrate, the first time I've seen this, my mom had a picture of my brother on her laptop, right? And I just finished playing a game, a CD-ROM game, and then I exited the game, and then the color distortion looks so off. Like it was a mixture of like orange and green. And then I was like, why does it look like that? And I got scared.
Yeah, especially like you like when you see that you think that maybe you broke it, and so
Yeah.
like you would get in trouble.
Yeah.
that
It wasn't just that too. I was just scared
Yeah.
of that in
it
general.
it just didn't look right.
Yeah. So imagine like whatever this one is, imagine the colors being orange and green. That's what I saw originally.
It could be whatever color.
Yeah. But then other times when I also played similar CD-ROM games as well, it also did something similar by like showing like a mixture of colors like this. But I already knew ahead of time how it was going to be like, so did that make sense? But like the first time experiencing it, I was actually scared. Not because I thought I broke it, but like what was on the screen in general.
I'd definitely be scared because of that. Of like
Yeah.
me thinking, oh shoot, I broke this. I'm gonna get so in trouble.
It's like a jump scare straight up, only except it does it for you without like being programmed into the system, if that makes sense.
Does it back when it happened to you when you're younger, it like fixed itself later on?
Yes, I believe no, because for me after I did this, I called my mom for help because I didn't want to see what was on the computer screen. I think what she did was she turned it off and then turned it back on again, and then it started working.
See.
But after I exited the game, I just didn't want to play anymore because I got scared.
I'm done for the day.
Yeah, exactly. I think
see.
but I ended up playing that same computer game again in the future though, and I had so much fun with it. It's an Arthur CD-ROM, by the way. Those are my favorite type of CD-ROM games to play.
I see.
Other than that, looking at it now, I just think it's, well, one thing's for sure, if I have that on my PC right now, I actually sort of be scared still because I feel like something's probably off with my monitor or with my laptop in general. Well, for now, like for those of you who can't see my laptop right now, I told this to Casman in the past, but like my monitor on my laptop screen is literally just pitch black. You can't see anything.
Yeah.
Which is why I have this expansion monitor here so that I could go ahead and use this for my work and stuff. Yeah, right, Kuma?
Cool. It's looking right at the screen.
Yeah. So I'm just like using this for like my work now because I can't see anything on my normal laptop screen. It was funny too because I was planning
Why. I know why he's looking at that direction. Because whenever you put your hand behind the screen, he thinks you're reaching out for the treats.
Oh yeah, that's right, because I actually have his bag of treats right here. Here, let me give you a treat right now. You good boy.
He's,
There you go.
He's smart enough to remember that.
Exactly. But yeah, if I were to end up like seeing that on like this PC monitor or on my laptop monitor, I'd definitely still be scared. But like for not the reasons when I was younger. But like more like, is my hardware or my software okay? It's like, is it still working? Am I able to like keep everything that I still have and like transfer everything to a new computer? Like that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'd be more terrified of this back in the day for sure, but
Different reasonings.
yeah. But nowadays, I still be terrified, but for different reasons, but for a more logical sense.
All right, moving on.
Okay, so it's gonna be a little more on the scarier side of things. So if you're not into jump scares, again, I highly advise that you look away right now.
Look away and slowly look back. Slowly. Or just don't. What?
Whoa, this guy's
Oh
big.
my gosh.
Okay, I wasn't
I feel
expecting
like
that.
jump scared that close. Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, dear sir. And for those that don't know, I don't know either.
Okay, so just to explain further, I forgot who this character is in general, but I don't know if you guys know the game or the game, but like in general, where's Waldo? So there,
Hey, look, it's Waldo right there.
so there's this computer game that my cousin like introduced me to when I was younger. And so basically it's a game of Where's Waldo. So basically what you're trying to do is of course find the character Waldo. And then here's the catch. If you click on something other than Waldo, you will be greeted to this jump scare. So
Of this vampire-looking guy.
yeah. And yeah. That was one of my first ever introductions to a real life jump scare. So after that, I knew that I wouldn't be interested in playing like games with jump scares ever since then.
FNAF.
Yeah, to be fair, I was gonna bring FNAF up later on. So, but this was like my first proper introduction to jump scares. Like you know how like in like other games too, sometimes where it seems so innocent. Like for example, I showed Caspin earlier, and I don't know if you played this, the Scary Maze game, right?
Yeah, I played. Yes, it
Yeah.
had there's like this like easy looking maze, and then to a certain point in that maze, you get jump scared by this looking zombie girl,
Yes.
and that's probably the first time I was introduced to that kind of jump scare, that that thing.
Yeah,
And
exactly. But it's surprising for me. I've actually never played the Scary Maze game. I've only seen like clips of people playing it. But for me, I played the Where's Waldo jump scare game, and then this popped up in my screen and did like a similar scream as they did in the Scary
a
Maze game.
scream or
Yeah, my gosh, it was irritating, and I remember being like scared of it as a kid. Like I was
yeah, definitely
like
scared
I
of
jumped
that.
out of my chair. I tried to find my mom.
That would be scary.
Yeah, I think I ratted my cousin out too for letting them play that game too. So at the same time, too, I felt bad for them because I know they were just trying to have fun. But at the same time too, I was still very young. So hey, don't stick his butt. It's nasty.
Unless. All right.
But yeah, so this is a little bit more on the uncanny side. But if we keep going on more and more, it's gonna get
Will
even
it
more
be
uncannier, and then it gets
Or not.
it gets more creepier. Let's just say. But looking at this now, I find this really interesting. Again, I'll get to that when I talk about my last thing. So, but the next one that I'm gonna talk about, the penultimate one, if you're afraid of bugs or insects, please look away right now. You will be terrified from what I will be showing on
Oh,
screen.
you
So,
put that. I thought you would put that one as last.
no, I changed the order. So, if you guys are
If
looking
you have a phobia of some sort to
bugs, then please don't look. Please look away at the moment.
Yes,
Please don't look away.
Please don't look away.
Test of courage. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
Why is it so zoomed?
It is actually more zoom than I thought. Kuma.
I want to fix that.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix this. I'm gonna. Let's see. It's at 125. There we go. 100%. It still doesn't look any more the same. So for those of you who guys don't know
the context.
this is from the episode Wormy from SpongeBob SquarePants, and this is the close-up when you see Wormy up close in the butterfly form. And what's funny about this too is that this isn't actually a butterfly. This is a horsefly up close with the buzzing sound
It's
and
a picture of
everything.
a horsefly with a bee noise to it.
Exactly. And then what makes it all the more creepy for me, especially seeing this as a kid, is that it literally just comes out of nowhere.
It
So
does, yes.
so you're not expecting it. Like you see, like of course, Wormy like becoming the caterpillar and then transforming into the butterfly, and then all of a sudden it starts flying around, and then it gets to SpongeBob's face, and then you see this with the buzzing noise, and you see it moving too on the TV screen in full.
It's twitching and all that.
Oh my gosh, dude, I was scared. Like this triggered my fear of butterflies.
And like to this day, yeah, he's still afraid of
Yeah, I'm still
butterflies.
scared. I'm still scared of butterflies to this day. Yeah, and this was one of the reasons why it like engaged my fear into it more. And to be more specific, I have a more tendency of fears of like butterflies with like crazy patterns, or like even simplistic patterns. Even like for example, like in the show they featured a monarch butterfly. So I was actually scared. I'm scared of monarch butterflies. And it's weird too because we both live in Illinois, and then I learned that in elementary school our state insect is the monarch butterfly. So that's all the more interesting for me.
Something that wasn't even a butterfly gave him the fear of butterflies.
Exactly. But here's the thing. When I become an adult, of course I find this episode funny, but I still have the fear surprisingly. But what I find weird as an adult is that things that I associate myself with butterflies, I like engage myself with more. Like, give you for example, for those of you who watch My Little Pony, my favorite show or my favorite pony in the show is Fluttershy, and in the side she has on her cutie mark 3 little butterflies, and plus taking the name Fluttershy, it's a spin-off to Butterfly. So
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
yeah, interesting fact, huh? I have a deck of cards that's called the Butterfly deck, and it's one of my favorite cards in my card collection at the moment. So it's basically gold and has the outline design of a monarch butterfly. What else? For those of you who know Vocaloid, one of my favorite songs from one of the singers, Gamin Len, is literally called Butterfly on Your Right Shoulder. And I know the song word for word because of how much I've enjoyed that song. And I think the number one example, and Caspin definitely knows this, but I'm not going to bring this up too much, is that I have a friend that ended up becoming my crush. The name. Yeah. And basically her nickname was the Butterfly. So it's sort of like, oh, mommy and daddy are home.
Anyways,
so it sort of led to that. Like anything that I was associated with when it comes to butterflies, it was like I'm with like the things that I enjoyed the most. Like what? Okay, I love the song about butterflies. I love
a friend that associated with butterflies.
Yeah. I love a character in one of my favorite television shows of all times is related to butterflies. And one of my favorite decks that I used to play, or when I used to do Magic, involves butterflies. Okay. But then it's like seeing an actual butterfly up close, I feel like, just get me far away. I do not want it touching my skin at all. But to be fair, I don't know if this is like racist or anything. I'm okay with the little white butterflies. Like those clear ones that only have like the little dots at the top of their wings and then that's it. It's just pure white. Those are the only butterflies I'm actually okay with. Yeah, I'm racist. That's the only butterfly I'm okay with.
All right.
That's surprising to me. I don't know the reason why, so please don't judge me.
Moving on to his last and final one. I don't remember which one it was.
If you're scared of, again, like the one that I mentioned previous for like pop-ups and jump scares, please look away. But this is like more when I was like a little bit older, but like introduced to the genre. You'll understand what I mean when I click the image. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Oh yeah, that one.
Yeah, so those of you who don't know who this character is, this is Jeff the Killer. So, for those of you who don't know the story of Jeff the Killer, so to quickly recap the story. So basically it's about this boy named Jeff, and he was teased by a bunch of bullies, and of course, like he's been tormented, he's been psychologically abused by like everything that he's been going through, and then one night He decides to go to the bathroom, grab the sharpest knife he could find. He cuts a permanent smile on his face and cuts off his eyelids. And then he like approaches his family. First one, I believe, was either his mom or his dad. And then I forgot like what he says to them. But the last person he sees, and then it was also the character that was with him in the beginning of the story, was his brother. And basically, before Jeff annihilated his brother, the final words you would hear him say is "go to sleep," and then he would take his family's life away from them. So, and then they say that he haunts the streets by like lurking around, finding his next victim, telling them to go to sleep and stuff like that.
Wait, so he was abused by his family, right?
Not his family, by a bunch of random teenagers.
Oh, so why would he end up killing his own family?
I think maybe because of like the psychological trauma that he ended up facing from the bullies. I think
And
it's,
how is I'm assuming like his family didn't like really help them,
yeah,
help this boy
yeah.
get help and all that.
Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since I've seen or read the story, I should say. But yeah, like this image terrified me as a kid, or not
Yeah.
as a kid. This is when I got into my creepypasta phase. So, back in the day, like I don't know if you guys watched Tat's Top videos. Like one of the first videos that I've ever seen from their channel was top 22 non-gaming creepypastas. And towards like the latter portion of the video, Jeff the Killer was one of the entries on the list. And then seeing Jeff the first time and like seeing the image, well, it isn't like the same image that you see in the video, but something similar to it.
Unsettling.
Yeah, it's very unsettling and very creepy. And then the reason why I was like, oh, the puppies are back. I got
Chart.
getting creeped out by the image alone. And then, of course, like I said before, like this is my introduction to the creepypasta genre. So it's sort of like dipping my toes into it before like diving into like all the other stories that were popular around that time, like Slender Man, The Rake, the SCP Foundation, and all that fun jazz and stuff. It's also the reasons why like I'm doing creepypasta readings on our channel. So if you haven't got a chance to listen to those, I highly suggest you should. But otherwise, this was like the first exposure to creepypastas for me, and I found this really creepy, obviously, because like me not knowing it back in the day. But of course, knowing it more now as an adult, Kuma, don't play with the chargers, Kuma. No.
Bring out the treats. Bring out the treats.
Kuma, come here. You baby boy, sit. No, he doesn't want to do it on camera. He's camera shy. Okay, so basically, as an adult now, I look at this and I appreciate it for the way how it looks, especially to see like how like other people are like treating this. Like I've shown Casman earlier. There's an anime girl version of this picture, and let's just say it's really nice. No, I wouldn't say really nice. I say it's really cute.
At least it doesn't look like
That.
yeah.
Well, actually, you do see the outline of it, but
You see some similarities, but it's like
exactly.
it's less unsettling than this
Exactly.
one.
But you still see the same outline and stuff, but it's still like the same image, but like to the point where you actually see like both the image and the girl. So it's like creepy and cool or creepy and cute at the same time, if that makes sense. So there's that, and then of course like learning about the actual story about Jeff the Killer and then realizing how stupid the story is. And then, of course, the saddest of all is like the meaning behind the actual photo of this one. So please quote me if I'm like completely wrong, because I feel like this isn't true, but this is what I've heard. So according to what I've heard online, I forgot which source I heard it from. This was based off a bullied girl that was being abused, and so they took one of her photos, like photoshopped it to make it creepy, hence Jeff the Killer. And sadly, this poor girl didn't live her life.
She ended it.
Yeah, a little too soon. And for being victimized as a bully. because of her weight.
Mm.
And that was the reason why. Yeah. So that's why every time I see this, I just feel bad. So you sort of understand the reason why stuff like that happens. So like, I mean, yeah, it does look cool looking at the picture, but then when you
Cool.
no, I was gonna say when you understand the meaning
Yeah,
behind the
yeah.
actual picture, then you start to have different understanding of the picture every time you see it again. So yeah, like I said before, I'm glad this was my first ever introduction to creepypastas and how I got into the creepy like genre in general. Hence, like I said before, like me doing the creepypasta readings on our channel. But at the same time too, I feel bad for like like all those like who are involved in this, like having their lives being like torn apart because of like popularity or like things that have ever happened in their real lives. Again, I'm not 100% sure if this is real, so please take it with a grain of salt. Otherwise, please correct me if I'm wrong. I could be, for all I know. And this could be just a random photo that's just been photoshopped, so. Yeah, otherwise, yeah. To be fair, I did like Jeff the Killer. It was one of my favorite original creepypastas. But then, of course, like delving into like more creepypasta lore, I ended up liking more stuff. Like the ones that I've uploaded on our channel already. So keep an eye on that. But yeah, these are mine from least to the most uncanniest. And
Yes.
yeah, so let's get to your
The
last one.
last one, mine. And
Where's my
I'd
mouse? There it is.
say when you see it is not as unsettling as this one, but I will say that out of all the horror movies I ever seen growing up, I say the one that I guess traumatized, not traumatized, but like scared me the most would have to be.
Good
You
old
want to zoom in?
Chucky the doll.
Yes, good old Chucky the doll. And I'd say specifically the ones during, which years was it? Like
1998.
1998, and I mean, there's one that in 2000, I think
2001?
2001 or 2002. And so what's unlike the late, if you've seen the latest Chucky movie, unlike that one where that one was like it was like an AI programmed like
Chucky in general.
that. This one, what scared me the most was like how one the way like this doll actually had like flesh and all that stuff inside of him. So he was like he became this sentient doll. And then the other thing was how since he became like a killer, like a psychotic killer and all that, doing his own thing, the fact that he was capable of murdering these adults that you would think would be a lot smarter, more capable of handling this doll size, it really scared me when I was a kid.
Jeez. And by the
And
way, YouTube, we're talking about the culture here in general, not real life. Please understand where we're coming from here, please.
so yeah, so this doll, I think it's probably about like this tall maybe,
Give or
or
take,
maybe
yeah.
even taller.
Do you want to grab
And
a size comparison to one of my plushies? Maybe that
nah,
might give an idea.
nah. But for that kind of doll that's capable of he's not weak. He's like capable. He has some like strength to himself. So it's like you don't think you can like even though he's not real, don't think that you can just like deal with or outstrength. Am I using the right word? Outstrength him.
Outnumber him?
No, not outnumber. Like you think you're stronger than him. You're more capable of like getting rid of this doll. Don't underestimate him. He knows what he knows. He mostly knows what he's doing, and
Yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
yeah, and that scared me so much as a kid, especially when I don't know what the place was, but it was like some kind of theme park about like horror movies and all that in California. I think it was in California.
Mm-hmm.
One of the attractions and all that included Chucky the doll,
Oh, I
and
think I know where this is going.
I was still when I went in with my family. It was I was we're going through all this, and of course, especially one of those like audiences, or like we went to an auditorium. It was like the creator of like
Chucky or like
Chucky the doll and or horror movies.
yeah,
He starts talking about this, and I'm like, I'm still scared of this. So I
yeah,
would like actually not. I try not to look away, but at the same time, I would also look. And
yeah.
so, yeah, I was scared of this doll for quite some time until, of course, I got older.
Yeah.
And, of course, Chucky, since Chucky's not real and all that, I became less scared of him. Like, yeah, I was less scared of him. I guess at some point, if it became real, I'd definitely be scared.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's.
I think in general, like it's like something that we've all seen like as a kid that used to scare us. But again, when we grow
And
up and
this.
understand it, then
Not the zombies or vampires or werewolves,
it's a
but
freaking
it's
doll.
this doll, this scarred doll that got me.
I mean, if butterflies scare me, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be that scared of dolls. So
Hmm.
then again, I mean, there's Annabelle the doll or Robert the
Nah,
doll.
I'm not. I'm not afraid of that doll. No, I'm not afraid of that doll. I'm more afraid of this doll. It's more capable of moving around and whatnot.
Have you heard of Robert the doll though? The
No,
real life creepy doll that's actually possessed.
I think so. It's like in an exhibit.
Yes,
Yeah.
I want to visit that one.
I do want to. I kind of want to see it.
Yeah, I want
Maybe.
to visit Robert in real life. I actually like want to say hi to him and like take a picture with him too.
Yeah.
Because
But
like that's a creepypasta dream come true for me.
that's the closest thing he'll ever get to on supernatural.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
Well, I know we're not supposed to believe in it, but I just want to see it for myself because I think that looks really cool.
And yeah, that's about all. That's all of my all the things that somewhat traumatized me while growing up. But then, of course, as I'm older, I look back at them and I'm like, either if it's I'm used to it or I find it funny, or I'm not as scared as I used to be
Exactly. Because
with the
again,
dog.
the things that we see back in the past is what we see when we were little. But now that as full grown adults, we understand how these things affected us back then and how we view them now changes the way how we see them.
How we view these kinds of things.
It's the way how you look at like one thing and then from when you were younger and then look at it now. Because if you're like full on adults like us and then you see like what kids are into nowadays, you expect that maybe years from now, those same kids will be having the same reactions as us when the younger generation reacts to that thing. Or like, it's like a cycle basically.
Yes, yes.
So what's old is new, I guess.
And what's new
Is old.
or something else. So yeah, those were our
All,
those are some of the things that traumatized us while growing up. And
but looking at them as adults, we have more appreciation on them. But
appreciation, yeah.
what about you guys? What were you guys traumatized with when you were little? Was it on media? Was it in real life? Or was it something else?
Made up and all that stuff.
Let us know in the comment section down below. And again, we're going to have all these pictures here posted. We're going to have the images posted in the description. So if you want to take a look at these ones in full. And I will also be sending links to like the videos that I've been discussing about in these as well. But highly recommend that you also check out all the things that we mentioned today, from all the episodes that we talked about to the media that we found. Please check them out. They're all interesting in their own unique way. And you understand the reasons why we were scared of them now, or back then, but now we have a great appreciation for them one way or another. So check them out. Otherwise, that's it from us. And if you have more ideas of what we could do in our future podcast episodes or discussions or any other videos like gaming content whatsoever, again, let us know. Otherwise, this is it from us. I'm Ivan, this is Caspin, and we're the, I almost said Weebie Gaming Boys.
Where I see the Weebs podcast.
This is the ICDhweebs Podcast, and thank you for joining us in today's episode.
Yes.
Bye, guys. Peace. we're gonna end it here. Keep it nice on the nice doggo. I
What
promise.
kind of breed is that? I don't know.
I honestly don't know the breed is either. Can you guys let us know?
Yes.
Especially for you dog lovers out there, because yeah, we're not familiarized with like the dog breeds, other than like me and my family's mini Bernedoodles, and like any of the other more popular breeds out there. So, again, let us know. Otherwise, again, bye guys, peace. I promise there'll be no jump scares in this outro.
Woo!
Oh, is that really a jump scare?